come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
We're gonna phone it in.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Prince of Darkness and They Live both were part of a 3-picture deal with Les Mougons, and they were distributed by Universal domestically, Carolco internationally.
I think they were a year apart, almost exactly a year apart from the time they actually started till the time they finished. So we were like 6 months of making the movie, and then 6 months off, and then 6 months on, and 6 months off, kind of that.
They Live is political satire. I think the question that it asks is, when faced with a challenge, when faced with what society takes as normal, do you go with that, or do you have a personal ethos?
8 o'clock in the morning, which is only about 5 pages long. It's about an average guy named George Nada who goes to see a stage hypnotist, and when the hypnotist tells the audience to awake, he becomes fully awake for the first time, and he starts looking around and he realizes there's these 4-eyed reptilian aliens sitting there. And he realizes in this sort of moment of shock and horror, and he has this epiphany that these creatures are among humans and have been among humans for God only knows how long, and that they have us hypnotized. And when he leaves the theater, he discovers he's right. There's signs everywhere, including one that says, "Obey." And that it had become a kind of plutocracy where most people didn't know what a plutocracy was or even how to spell plutocracy.
The golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules.
In 1988, it was very much the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And that is, I think, the central conceit of They Live.
More and more people are becoming poor. We are their cattle.
I don't really think that They Live is a futuristic film. I think it's set in its own present, actually.
The sunglasses that the Resistance wears are just, they're run-of-the-mill sunglasses. They're not name brands. They're not Wayfarers. They're not Ray-Bans. They're just sunglasses. They're just run-of-the-mill sunglasses.
And they were such a kind of throwaway, archetypal part of 80s culture. You know, you have the ZZ Top song, "Get Yourself a Pair of Cheap Sunglasses." Tom Cruise looks over his glasses in Risky Business, I think, and it's really funny, and it's really sly because it suggests that in a commercial culture, in a junk culture, revelation is also going to come to you in the form of a piece of crass materialism.
They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices.
Aliens were based on a drawing that I did that was a half skull with rotting away flesh so that you'd see tendons and things. And Frank Carasosa was the makeup artist who did what every artist in town now takes credit for. But Frank created the purple and blue veined, silver star-eyed alien.
And Frank's was a very talented man that was able to come up with these masks that didn't look like their masks.
When I was working on the film together, he gave me several sheets of paper and he said, "These are things that I have said that I've made up for my wrestling interviews. They're lines that I've used. If I'm going to do an interview about some wrestler I'm going to meet on Saturday night, I'll say these lines." And some of them were not what I needed for the film, but that one, particular one, I thought, well, that's pretty great. You know, we can use this. It's way out of context here in a way, but it's fun. It's his, so he wrote it.
It's so early.
I'm reading the script, I get to the fight, and it's exterior street or whatever it was, the fight, and it's like a blank page. Another blank page. Another blank page. Another blank page. And I said to John, "John, tell me about this fight." He says, "I want everybody to realize that this fight is going to go on forever."
He goes, "You set it up. The only requirement I ask is, I want you to have 3 wrestling moves in there," because at the time he was a huge wrestling fan.
We could be pets, we could be food, but all we really are is livestock.
I think John always has in his mind when he's writing the script what the music's going to sound like, you know. And of course everything he did was on a synthesizer.
This would be the third score that we did in the same studio. The studio was well equipped. We now had digital sequencing. I was using a sequencer called Mark of the Unicorn, now called Motu, which became Digital Performer.
Money-grubbing, sociopathic American plutocrats.
But it isn't about Trump or it isn't about Reagan. It's about a human condition. It's about what we're willing to settle for. It's about us. So if you speak to who we are, what makes you human, and do you value that, that'll be an ongoing issue forever.
They Live is a documentary about what's going on now. Relevance, of course. Yeah, it's still here.